This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
You're now in the Essential Zone, where we seek to be informative, inspirational, enlightening, and dynamic. But more importantly, we seek to be fair and balanced. There comes a time when the game tolerates no spectators, only players. There comes a time when we must recognize that our individual aspirations shape our collective destiny. There comes a time when getting in the game, despite the risks, despite the challenges, regardless of the cost, is simply the right thing to do. There comes a time when we must find our hearts, find our soul, and pursue our purpose for the greater good of all, for country, for humanity. There comes a time when we must manifest our true greatness. Yes, there comes a time, and that time is now. So let's get down to the essentials. The essentials. Serious radio for serious people committed to advancing the national conversation. And good evening and welcome to The Essentials. This is the Reset on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. I'm your host, Hubert Edwards. Certainly a pleasure to have you join us this evening. And we're going to have one of those conversations which you may wish to join in. It's nothing too heavy this evening. We are taking a stroll down memory lane and we're looking back at our Success Summit. This year is our 5th year and we are launching for 2021, number 5, take 5. And so we want to have a bit of a conversation because, like most things, most other things, there is a story. There's an important story to tell. And we must tell our stories. Because in them may be nuggets. In them you may find a bit of inspiration, if you will, to take away. Someone may find something there which they say, well, we didn't really realize that was the case, but, sound like it makes sense. Or we also have the ability to create space for conversations, some things which you may not have known, some things which you might have seen but wish to ask but never got the opportunity. So this even really, it's in a way of launching our Success Summit 2021. Just want to have a conversation around that and to show and to demonstrate a little bit of the backstory. What happened in 2017? What happened before that? Why did we start it? Why are we doing it? Why will we continue? Why, despite challenges, we are moving forward with this? And so we want you to join in on that conversation. If you want to be a part, the numbers are 323-6232, 325-4316, and 325-4259. I know that there are a number of issues taking place, so there are a myriad of important issues at the national level. But we're not going to deal with those tonight. And certainly, if you were to join us, we ask that you keep it very short and pithy. It's important that we do that. So let's start where obviously we must start. What is Success Summit? So Success Summit is a one-day event, or at least up to now, it was a one-day event. This year, we will be having 2 days. And it's an event which is designed for individuals who are looking to get a start, an early start on next year. And it's deliberately scheduled to be sometime around the end of November or the beginning of December. So typically, it's the last Saturday in November, if it works out in that way, or the first Saturday in December. And what we usually do is we bring together a number of individuals, presenters, teachers, individuals who are what we refer to as success advocates, individuals who advocate to you on your own success. And we bring these persons, we put them in the same room, and we pretty much have a conversation. It's built around a theme, and persons share their own personal stories. They talk about things which have happened to them. They talk about how they would have overcome certain things in life. But they are also, more importantly, seeking to encourage and inspire and uplift and enlighten individuals who are participating. So in the first 3 years, we were in the physical, face-to-face. Last year, we had to go hybrid because of COVID. And that's how we're going to do it this year. Maybe going forward, it will be more of a larger hybrid where there'll be larger number of persons in the room and we are still beaming out to other individuals. So yeah, that's where we were. And that's really what the Success Summit is about. But more importantly, and I think this is the area which we need to focus on, it's not simply an event designed to create a talk shop. We're not into to talk shopping. We use it as an opportunity to raise funds for scholarships. We use it as an opportunity to represent to individuals that we see you, we see your contribution to country, especially in the areas of leadership, and we want to recognize you. Now, as recognition goes, and I will fault no one for this, but there are persons who obviously would feel very comfortable or more comfortable being recognized by a well-recognized organization. That's not what we are at the moment. But what we have sought to do is to create a standard which is definitely high and one which we are uncompromising with. So the individuals that we actually will select, or the individuals you will see that we select as, for example, our leadership awardees, are, individuals of impeccable standard, impeccable character, have a reputation for doing, a reputation for achieving, and we can talk more about who those persons have been so far. But the proudest part for me personally is our ability to contribute to education. And so we have selected primary school students, grades 5 and 6. And we have, in the last 2 years, done 3 scholarship grant. I don't want to call them scholarship because that may suggest, something of a longevity. But it's a one-off grant, basically, that we give the student. So we select students who have a need for the most part. It's not like, the parents are totally poor and dying. But, we look for students who are academically inclined, who are working. They don't have to be over the top bright, because we believe that sometimes individuals who are not properly enabled are those individuals who actually need the help to become more enabled. But we look for individuals who are serious about their work, who contribute to school life, who contribute to their school community, who contribute to the community within which they live, who demonstrate levels of leadership, early leadership, and individuals who really want to give back in the ways that they can, even at such a young age. And so we've been very, very fortunate. So far, we've been able to do this since 2019. So we had 2019 and 2020. And across that frame, we have done 6 students here in the Bahamas. As an adjunct to that, I have done from my personal resources and the contribution directly from others. We try to be very, 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 very integrous about what we do and very transparent. So money's raised for the Bahamas. From the Bahamas, if we are going to use it, we generally use it back here in the Bahamas. If monies are going elsewhere, then persons will know. We tell them exactly what it is that we're doing, and typically I don't try to raise money. There has been one individual who is aware of what I did or what I was doing and offered to contribute on 2 occasions, and certainly it would have been appreciated. And so what I do is I go back to my school, the school I went to, my secondary school, and I offer to support one or two students. The last time we did it didn't quite work out like that, and largely because we were in the midst of COVID. So what we said to the principal was, hey, here's the money, take it, and you use it as best as possible to impact as many students as is possible. And so, we're very proud of the fact that we are able to do that and to impact students, not only here in the Bahamas, but certainly back home, my other home in Jamaica. And so, this is kind of the genesis. We are born out of philanthropy. We are born out of a desire to help persons to grow and develop. And we are born and being continued or sustained from the fact that, look, we are here as individuals to serve. If you can find something that you love doing, an area which you are passionate about, then certainly you want to latch onto that and you want to start to see how best you can serve individuals. And so this is our way of doing that. So over the next couple of minutes that we spend here together, we're going to take a little bit of a walk down memory lane, and we're going to talk about, how we started and, look at some of the things that we did over the years. We're going to play some ads, the advertisements that you will hear. Don't worry about the dates because they are old, but we just want to have a little bit of a fun, a little bit of a moment to look back and to reflect and to give an appreciation of the fact that there are many, many moving parts and many, many individuals who would have stepped up to the fore and volunteered their service in a very serious way and, very enthusiastically so to make where we are today possible. This is number 5. I am by no means not conscious of the fact that there have been many, many endeavors which started right here in the Bahamas and in other places, which just never get to year 2. The fact that we are still here, even having to transition, and we're still going through the COVID, but certainly even to have made it through 2020, I think it speaks to the seriousness of what we're doing, and it also speaks to the commitment which we have made and which we plan on keeping. And so, really want to have this bit of a conversation. And so if you want to join in and ask some questions about it, I will be very, very glad to share with you. One of the things I want you to do too is to go to our website, which is nlsolutionsbahamas.com, nlsolutionsbahamas.com, and the registration is there, the Zoom registration, and you can start register. And as you register, over the next couple of weeks that we have the show, there will be opportunities for you to win a copy. I have 2 books, and so I will be donating a couple of those for persons who so desire to win copies. So it's either Whisper of a Country Boy, which is a collection of poems, or Think, Act, Grow, Thoughts and Reflection for Self-Leadership, which is the second book I did, my second attempt. And it's really a book of reflections. It's about thinking about things, taking everyday issues and rethinking them, if you will, looking at things through different perspective. Again, these are, they come from my point of view, but I am sure that in many instances, persons who read it will find them useful. A number of persons would have bought copies, and if you wish, and you are one of those individuals out there who bought a copy, then, call in and let us know how it has impacted you so far. So what we're going to do here, we're going to take ourselves a quick break, and then when we come back, the first thing you will hear is our first ad, the advertisement that we started with in 2017. And of course, there's always a story behind the story. You're listening to The Essentials. Come right back.
So essential, so serious. Time for the essential.
Our free pick pack delivery service gives everyone in the Family Islands a chance to shop a variety of club products and prices right from home. Simply call or WhatsApp your order to 242-677-7266 or email order@amlfoods.com. A friendly customer service representative is waiting to pick, pack, and deliver your order to the mailboat of your choice. The options are truly endless, and with membership you save even more. So order today and let Costrite pick, pack, and deliver right to you.
Always on the go? Missed the show? You can now listen to Guardian Radio talk shows anytime, anywhere on Spotify and YouTube by searching Guardian Radio 96.9 FM or by entering the name of your favorite show. You can also listen by logging on to GuardianTalkRadio.com and clicking on the podcast tab. Guardian Radio, continuing to provide you with fresh news and smart talk anywhere, anytime, all day.
For the best jerk in the Bahamas, you must have Baloo's. Pork, fish, and chicken served with our delicious country-style sauce and authentic festivals. Baloo's, Nassau East South. Call or WhatsApp 376-8951. Baloo's, the jerk with the soul of reggae and the spirit of Junkanoo. Baloo's jerk, traditional, slow-cooked to perfection. 376-8951. Get yours today.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Hubert Edwards Global presents Success Summit 2017. Super Clubs Breezes comes alive on Saturday, December 2nd, 2017, when Hubert Edwards Global presents the ultimate success event, featuring quantum transformation psychologist Dr. Leah Kim Samaj from Kingston, Jamaica, dynamic life strategist and John Maxwell coach Debbie Markland, entrepreneur and international speaker Anne McNeil, both from the USA, author and coach Paulo Prosper from the island of Haiti, also featuring top class local speakers Dr. Keith Major, Carlos Palacios, Pastor Mario Moxie, Yvette Bethel, Valentina Monroe, Ethan Quant, Michelle Miller, Troy Strawn, Keishel Davis, and many more. This event is hosted by Dr. Deborah Bartlett, Rodney Bain, and Gandhi Pinder. You don't want to miss this one-day mind-shifting event that will teach you the ultimate success strategies. This event is brought to you by Alive, Super Clubs Breezes, and Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. For more information, go to SuccessSummit2017.com. You don't want to miss it.
Yes, and so that was our first advert in 2017, and the voice you hear is that of Michelle Miller. And Michelle Miller is really part and parcel of the fabric of Success Summit, because in many ways the story originated maybe in her mind. We had ongoing discussion. For those who know Michelle, Michelle was a life coach. And, she's always coming up with fantastic ideas of how, we could grow, what we could develop. And I remember having a conversation with her once, and the conversation basically said, hey, we should have an event, and such an event should be so attractive that it would attract individuals like Les Brown, Lisa Nichols, Tony Robbins, and we would have the opportunity to put, a number of Bahamians side by side with these individuals and, make it a signature event. And so I started to think about that and say, hey, what if it is actually possible? But in order to get there, we have to start somewhere. We have to at least get this thing off the ground. And so I decided, yes, let's run with it. Spoke to Michelle. She said, I'm not ready to go down that road just yet, but feel free. And so we started in 2017. And so we kicked that off. Interestingly, some of these individuals that we have discussed, I have attempted to, obviously in a premature way, maybe. So we have had discussion with Les Brown, can't afford him at this point in time. We have tried to reach Lisa Nichols. Obviously, we can't afford her, but that's kind of how I like to do things. I explore the possibilities, even though I know they are outside shots. But one day, sooner or later, it will happen. It may not be these individuals, but sooner or later, I think the vision of bringing together this signature event right here in the Bahamas, where There will be big names, and persons will want to, from all over the world, be a part of. And right alongside, there will be emerging leaders and individuals from right here in the Bahamas who may be, for the first time, and without the exposure that they would have gotten, would be heard in many places across the world, and that could potentially be life-changing. Launch a career in public speaking, launch a career in coaching, mentoring, whatsoever it is. I think that dream is still possible. And so we keep working on that. So emerging out of that training session with Michelle and having this discussion, this ideation, if you will, it sparked the idea for Success Summit. And so what we did was to kind of take our idea and add a twist to it. And the twist really was to overlay that with philanthropic intentions. And basically, as I said before, we add the idea of doing the summit and having speakers, but say, hey, why don't we support some good causes? And in the first year, what we did was we supported the Pilot Club. We donated, I think it was $1,000, and they were trying to build a therapeutic pool, it was. And so we donated $1,000. It was from the very first year. After donating the $1,000, I think we were in the red, but it was a commitment. And this, I think, set the tone in a very, very serious way to exactly where we were going and how we plan on taking this. And interestingly, over the years, we have had the opportunity of putting on stage many, many local speakers, individuals who are highly regarded and respected in the Bahamas, individuals who are up and coming, captains of industry, but also individuals who are lesser known. And we have subsisted side by side. Interestingly, we have been able to take those who would be considered more competent, more capable at doing this thing, and blend that with individuals who are not yet there, and create a product which is really, really good, if I should say so myself. It has been enjoyable. It has been significant in attracting individuals. And every single year, persons have walked away saying, we enjoyed ourselves. We have been enlightened. We have learned a lot. We are looking forward to the next year. And so that's where we started in 2017. But, it wasn't easy. There were a lot of pains. There were a lot of challenges. But I think out of the excitement of the day, with a lot of individuals around us, we really stumbled on this formula. And the formula led us in a direction which says, hey, you can do it. The first year, we brought in 2 speakers, one from Jamaica, one from the United States, and then we had a whole bunch of us from right here. And we put on what was then a surprising show for us. Surprising for me, definitely. There were individuals who were, while delighted, were a little bit surprised at the extent that we pulled that off. I remember one of the speakers saying to me in very, very clear terms on the very first year, how will you top this? How will you top this? And it's important that when you set out to do a thing, you look for ways of challenging yourself. And for me, for 2018, those words were the words which I use as a challenge. How will you top this? And, my quiet reflection was, I'm not sure, but I'm going to show you. And so when we got through 2017, we did it on the back of, many, many, many individuals. As you would have heard from the advert, there was Gandhi Pinder, Debbie Bartlett, Rodney Bain, the people out of the United States, Carlos Palacios, there was, the name slipped me right now, but there were many local individuals who participated. Keith Major, I was trying to remember. And we pulled that off. And we got to the place where we said, yeah, well done. But that particular year created a catalyst for me personally, in that Michelle Miller, the voice you heard on the advert, And as I have explained to you before, the inspiration behind this, she spoke at the event, and about 3 weeks later, she died. And as that story unfolded, it caused me to really dig deep inside and reflect on, who I am as a person, what is it that we have started and why we have started it, and how we can maintain and celebrate the lives of individuals, especially her, who have contributed much, but have passed on. And for this reason, after Michelle Miller died, I discovered that the day that she turned up to that event, she was in immense pain. But she braved it. She put on her best face. She put on her classic dressing as she always dressed. She did her makeup. She was looking fantastic. And she came and she presented for 4 minutes and 23 seconds. And in that 4 minutes and 23 seconds, she gave us a nugget of a speech, something which I still have, and I'm going to play it this evening. But it said to me in very, very clear terms that even when you are at your worst, even when you are at your lowest, sometimes there are things out there which it is worth sacrificing for. And her sacrifice for the launch of Success Summit just simply cannot be one of those things that we brush aside and ignore. And so consequently, what we have done to memorialize her contribution, and not just her contribution to the Success Summit, but her contribution to youths especially, and a contribution in the arena of growth and development, we have named one of the scholarship grants in her name, in her honor. So like I said to you, there are a number of individuals who we honor as a result of them having some impact on the summit, some impact in this arena, or some impact maybe on me individually, personally. And so that story really serves as the foundation, the real foundation for what Success Summit is about. And so as you see these unfold from year to year, I want you to understand, I want you to develop an appreciation that we're doing this from a deep-seated place of conviction, of commitment to the betterment of ourselves and individuals. The reason I say ourselves is because as a collective, when we come together, we must always be aware that as we do, so too do we earn. It may not be earning in dollars and cents, because all of this effort is designed to be totally for charity. But you gain so much. You gain so much experience. You gain in terms of boldness. You understand how to plan, how to develop, how to hear no and still move on. You understand what it means to value the life of an individual, the contribution of individual, what it means to treasure someone who have in their own simple way impacted you, impacted others, and what it means to be a potential guardian of someone's legacy. Not in totality, but maybe in a small way. And so that is where we are operating from. So when you hear we are pushing Success Summit, and this is a bit of a launch. We had the pleasure of launching this week on Monday when we were on Bahamas at Sunrise, thanks to TLC Group and Joan Albury, who happens to be one of our trustees. I'll talk a little bit more about that. But we have a number of wonderful individuals right here in the country, persons who are leaders in their own right and persons who contribute and serve the country at very high levels, who have said yes to us. We will be a part of your organization. We will act as trustees to make sure that you stay on the right path, to make sure that you deliver this vision, to make sure that the commitment that you have made to the public will remain. And the persons who we have, you will know that when these persons lend their name to a thing, they must consider it to be serious. So as we walked down the road and we got to 2017, so by 2018, by this, the first year is done, Michelle Miller has passed, and we are moving into 2018. And I believe, like most things, this idea of beginner's luck, I think it's real, because the first year was challenging but easier in terms of financing the event. We had a good amount of sponsors who came to the fore. And we were, really on a roll. The next year, 2018, basking in the warmth of the previous year and thinking, well, we have demonstrated the capacity to do this thing, so our sponsors are going to roll back with us. Our main sponsor dropped us or said, well, we can't do this in 2018. And there was an interesting interaction as that happened. So as these things go, you send a letter to the organization and you outline the need that you have. You delineate the options that they have to participate. And if they have some measure of interest, there is a meeting. And so I was invited to a meeting, and I went to the meeting, and I had to, of course, lay out my ideas. And so as I sat through the meeting, there was a particular lady who was in the meeting. And one of the things that she asked me was, how much do you charge? At the time we were charging, we were doing it at the hotel. It was very expensive. We had to cover our costs. So we were charging $100. And having explained to her that the charge was $100, and if you were an exhibitor, we charge you $125, her response was, anyone spending $100 expects quality. And I went quiet for a moment, because the sum total of her statement was basically, at $100, are you sure you can deliver quality? And so I paused for a moment and I said to her, well, with all due respect, I believe that what we provide at a very, very high standard. You can go and you can do a survey of any other individuals who were there, and they will tell you that this was a high quality production. It was run like clockwork. Individuals were on stage and off stage within the time. Persons weren't bored. Persons weren't dragged to, presentations which were about the presenters, but they were taken through a treatment, if you will, one after the other, starting from the very first individual, where everything that we do is designed to serve and to give value. And so, with all due respect, that's what we do. In the end, I didn't get any support. But just driving back from that meeting, I was just, reflecting on what was happening. And it crossed my mind that, hey, since you're not getting the financial support, why don't you not do it? Just walk away. It's not a big deal. And one of the questions I asked is, and I asked myself, are you doing this for you, or are you doing this to help and serve others? And as I kind of, talked with myself, the response was, if you're truly in this for others, then you would figure out a way of doing it. And so I said, yes, we may need to make some cuts, but come flood or high water, snow or high water, we are going to do this. And so 2018, despite those challenges, we actually pulled it off, and we answered the question, I think, of our first year presenter, my friend Lakem Samaj, who will be back here for the 2021 version on December 4th. I think we answered his question when he asked, how will you top this? Because in no uncertain way, 2018 was better than 2017. And we were able to have greater outreach. We were able to host a number of students and a number of young people and even young adults. We did it at our own cost. And that right there was the linchpin of where we were going. I knew right then that we were onto something which was and is bigger than us. And all that it required was deep-seated commitment and a willingness to work through the challenges. And if we were willing to do that, and if we were willing to not compromise on quality, and if we were willing to reach out and ask nicely and present a good value proposition to sponsors and presenters, persons would come. And they have. And they have contributed well beyond what was expected every single time, given so much more, and they do it from the total goodness of their heart. Because it's that type of a show. We're not in this for profit. We're in this to ensure that we maximize every single cent that we have so that we can forward that to the students to provide scholarship. And it's important. And remember, one scholarship recipient last year, I had the opportunity to go to his school to make the payment, to deliver the payment to the principal. And when the principal described who the child was and how the child is and what he's working, and then recognizing that that same child had a child and parent had some important financial challenges, it makes you want to cry at times. It really moves your heart to know that, well, if you could, and certainly if I could, I would love to do more. But it also reconfirmed to me that what we're doing is the right thing. Even though right now the scholarship grants are small, sooner or later we're going to get it at a level where we're supporting individuals in a more tangible way. But like I always said to the people around me as we work through, and last year the mantra was, when we were teetering on the cliff of not being able to do the fourth one because of COVID, the mantra was, you cannot get to 5 unless you do 4. And so we cannot get to the big times, which we will get to, until we go through this growing period. So what I'm sharing with you here today is really to develop an appreciation of where we're coming from and our intention, a bit of a launch. So like I said, if you are ready to register, it's early, but never too early. You can go to nlsolutionsbahamas.com, look for Success Summit, and you will be able to start registering. Let's take one more of those early ads, Mr. Producer. So let's take the one from 2018. That would be the clip number 2. We get that, yeah.
World-class success through bold leadership. Hubert Edwards Global presents the second annual Success Summit 2018. Dynamic local and international speakers, life-changing presentations designed to fuel your success at Super Clubs Breezes on December 1st, 2018. Your investment is only $100, including lunch. Our speakers, Dr. David Burrows, Simone Edwards, Peter Hall, Shivago Lang, Dekesa Dean, Mario Moxie, Kendall Major, Carlos Palacios, Cheryl Bazard, Gowon Bo, Carlos Mackey, Simone Bo, Valentino Monroe, Wellington Hepburn, and Rodney Bain. Also, Hubert Edwards, as he shares his personal success journey. Fitness experts, Ethan Quant and Nathan Sweeting from Elite Wellness, and Donovan Roll of J Fitness. Hosted by Chavez Brown. For more information, visit our website, nlsolutionsbahamas.com.
8 9 5 1. Telephone 376-8951.
376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951. 376-8951.
You hear the names, right? So we're basically celebrating those individuals tonight. All of those individuals, they're persons who have been on the summit multiple times. And I really want to pause here to say to all of the individuals who have presented, those who have worked in the background, those who have supported us as sponsors, thank you. Thank you so very much, because without your contribution, this wouldn't have been possible. Interestingly, Simone Edwards, we are not related, but we have now become cousins. But Simone Edwards is a former WNBA basketball player. She won a championship, I think, with I can't remember the name, but she won a championship. And she was our keynote in 2018, a fantastic story, an individual. She's originally from Jamaica. Up to about age 16, she was trying to do track, running track barefooted, but because of her height, she was recruited. She was given an opportunity to learn basketball. She made her way into the WNBA by, being selected 3 out of 300. And the story of her getting there is just simply fantastic. She was a guest on The Essentials, and we went through that. You can check her out. She has a book, which the book is Unstoppable, Simone Edwards, the Jamaican Hurricane. And this is an individual who came and shared her story. One of the reasons I'm pausing right here is just like we had Simone, we had Michelle. Simone is now going through her own challenges with cancer, ovarian cancer. And to the women out there, the individuals out there, male and female, who are challenged in this way, we want to send our heartfelt prayers out to you. We want to remember you. And this is one of the reasons we must continue to do this. I must continue to do this because the individual who inspired us, Michelle Miller, who died from cancer, we must get to the place at some point in time where we are doing more in that particular arena. And so I really want to say to individuals, when a person is willing to step out and share their story, take what you can from it. We learned a lot about Simone Edwards when she was here. We got to know her very well. We treat her well because she was here. She was interviewed by our Guardian Radio sports reporter, Simba, at the time. And right now, she is going through a bad patch. She is battling cancer, and so we send our love out to her. But I'm saying all of this to demonstrate the extent to which we have created a reach. An international world-class player, a WNBA champion. We had individuals from the U.S. Army who came over to share the U.S. Army's version of leadership. We have had on this program a quantum psychologist and many other individuals. And so it's important that as we set out to do this, we understand that it's really not just the people you may see in front of you at any point in time, but at every single stage, we are building on the back of those who were there before, those who came in 2017, and those who came in 2018. So 2018 came, and of course, boom, we're now staring down 2019. And 2019 became a really, really exciting time because out of the summit itself, we launched a school tour. And basically, it was a school tour which I did. An opportunity or an excuse to go back to Jamaica and to go to the schools. And so on the first trip, I was maybe at about 7 or 8 schools. The second trip, I did about 20 schools, and the third one, maybe another 22. But hundreds of students were impacted out of something which had a genesis right here in the Bahamas, and because so many Bahamians stepped up to assist. Now, the funding for that was personal, came from me. But I was doing this on the strength and on the inspiration and on the gravitas, if you will, of an event contributed to by many, many, many individuals. So you see that oftentimes when we do a thing in one aspect of our lives, it grows and develops, and it enables you to add more value. And yes, it makes no sense denying it. There is value accruing to you. It's always nice, you go back home and you're in front of people who you knew, persons who I went to school with. Some of them became teachers and they're right there in the same room. And it's a good feeling. But more importantly, it's an opportunity to serve the students, to remember and reflect the time when I was where they were. Many of them are in, significantly greater circumstances than I was. But here I am, having the ability to give back and hopefully to inspire somebody to do the same, to do more, to be better, to believe in themselves. Someone who may have been thinking, I can't make it. My mom have no money. The family is poor. I come to school hungry and that sort of thing. Yeah, well, I go to those schools and I tell them, I went to school hungry. When I decided I was too hungry to go to school, my mom took me, held me by the hand and said, you going to school? And she deposited me to the principal, who decided, since you don't want to come to school, I will see how smart you are. And when I couldn't solve the problem, he had his own treatment. But if I can share those stories with individuals and they can become better human beings, then certainly it's valuable, it's important. And so when you listen to, if you have been at a summit, when you listen to a Cheryl Bazard or a Carlos Palacios, his wife has also been there, Anastasia, when you listen to a Victoria Mullins, when you listen to a Ethan Quant, when you listen to Rodney Bain, my former host on The Essentials, co-host on The Essentials, when you listen to these individuals share their own personal stories, when you listen to the Michelle Miller story, when you listen to Yvette Bethel, when she shared the story about her father and how that relationship would have impacted her in life, these are the things that we want to do. We want to create an experience which is life-changing. We refer to our summits as mind shift. And what I mean by that is, you come there with a mindset, you hear the stories, you hear the perspectives, you see the individuals who you may see on a daily basis. But you get a brand new view, a brand new perspective of exactly who they are, and that causes you to shift your mind. So you're now moving from maybe a state of doubt to embracing possibility. Maybe a place where you don't really understand and appreciate who you are until you hear someone say, I too didn't know who I was, but here I am today. I am someone better. So certainly, this is what we are trying to achieve. So as we moved into 2019, we launched our scholarship program for the first time. And that scholarship program, as I mentioned before, delivered 3 scholarships to 3 primary school students. And we had our Leadership Excellence Award. And that too was one of those moments which caused us to stop and reflect. Because, it wasn't a big hoorah. And of course, there were individuals who said, we don't think you may be a prestigious enough organization to present me with an award. I will decline. They didn't say it in those words, but that's kind of exactly what they meant. But that first year, we had the privilege of making an award to Anthony Longley, who is a lifelong Toastmaster, served at near highest level, the first Bahamian to be on the board of Toastmasters International. We had the opportunity to make an award to Ricardo DeVoe, the founder of the primary school student scholarship, who have given yeoman service to this country. And we also had the opportunity to make an award to Barry Racine, who had served as the president, international president of Rotary. And so we kind of set the bar very high in the first instance with these individuals. And we were also very humbled by the fact that they would say yes to us. It meant something. It said to us, regardless of what other persons may think, and regardless of the fact that you know that you are not there yet, you come with some level of credibility. And so we thank those individuals. Seriously thank them for contributing by being willing to say yes to us, and by being willing to participate and contribute in a very serious way to what we did, what we are doing. So the backstory is deep. It's not an event that we put on to go jump up in December and to have fun and to do whatever is done within the confines of that moment. For me, this is a movement. This is something which has a long life and a long vision, and a vision which is larger than the Bahamas, larger than the Caribbean, which we hope to reach into serious ways, and certainly of international proportions. And why is that important? It's important because if we are going to deliver on the initial thoughts of our inspiration, Michelle Miller, then we have to get to the place where we have gravitas, where we have oomph, where we have the ability to appeal to a global audience. We're not there yet. But every single thing that we do, every single year that we do it, that's where we're walking towards. And so when we invite you to come out to the summit, come out in numbers, because you are being a part, you are part of the pioneering class of something which ultimately will be wonderful. It's already wonderful. It's already serving. It's already contributing in a serious way. But I believe that there is so much more to come. So despite the fact that 2019 had its challenges, we were able to move forward and we were able to do it. And we did it in style. We did it by delivering for the first time the Dr. Miles Monroe Memorial Award, Leadership Award. It wasn't named that yet in 2019. I think we did that in 2020. But we were able to deliver the Leadership Excellence Award to 3 individuals who, I don't mind, it doesn't matter how difficult an individual you are. It's going to be hard for you not to accept that they were individuals who, at any point in time, represent committed leadership, represent serious contribution to country and to humanity. So that was 2019. 2019, we were on a roll, but obviously 2020 was just around the corner. But before we get into that, let's see if we can catch the 2019 advert that we had there. Let's see what that sound like. I know, and it's interesting. First year, we had Michelle Miller doing it. Second year, it was Michelle Miller. The third year, we kind of, I'm not sure we did any copyright infringement, but we took a very big name and we kind of slap it on to one of our advertisements. So let's hear the one from 2019, number 3. Still working on that? Okay, so while the producer work on that, so 2019 was, a vibe here. We were trying to still find ourselves, to try to understand exactly where we were, where we are as an organization. It was a lot of individuals around us were largely from Toastmasters, especially Toastmasters 1600. I have to give a shout out to that organization of which I'm a part. And they were able to step up and through their support, whether as speaker, whether working in the background, helping to produce, helping to monitor on the day, we were able to get that done. Were we ready for that? 2019.
Let me tell you something. If you change your mind, I don't care what comes up against you. I don't care who you're fighting. I don't care how big they are. I don't care how tough they are. There is nothing as powerful as a changed mind.
Under the theme Success Beyond Self, Hubert Edwards Global presents Success Summit 2019, a power-packed lineup of inspirational, dynamic, world-class speakers, including the Dean, Shivargo Lang, Dr. Kenneth Romer, Simone Bowe, Ethan and DeKel Quant, Ian Mora, Crystal Ferguson, Wellington Hepburn, Malachi Monroe, and Hubert Edwards. One full day of mind-shifting transformational success principles. November 30th, 2019. Super Clubs Breezes starting at 8 a.m. Your investment for this personal growth opportunity is $100 and $200 for exhibitors. Tickets available at all Cash and Go locations. Success Beyond Self. You simply can't afford to miss this mind shift moment.
Yes, success beyond self. And I think in 2019, that's where we found ourselves. In a way, the titles or the themes. So the first year was let's unleash our greatness together. And by 2019, we get to this place where we're saying, what is it that we're doing here? Are we pursuing success for self or success so that others can become? And that particular theme, success beyond self, we said we wanted to be in the room and presenting to individuals, not about us, but about them, and to show and to demonstrate how we can all pursue this whole idea of being successful together. It's not simply about me. It's not simply about you. It's not simply about us in our own selfish little realms or fiefdoms. But we do it in such a way that it takes on a bigger life. It takes on greater impact. It has the ability to touch more persons in bigger ways. And so that's where we got in 2019. And then 2020 popped up on us, and we were staring down the barrel of COVID. And so because it was towards the end of the year, there was a little bit of a reprieve. But the idea is, how are we going to do this? Up to that point, everything was done at the hotel. We were using Breezes as our main location, and want to give a shout out to the proprietors there at Breezes who supported us. While we weren't there pro bono, we had to pay for a number of things, but they supported us in other ways. In instances, some of our guests were given rooms to stay, certainly in the first year. And in the second year, I think we got some discount, but they supported us nonetheless. So we were now having to think about shifting from the hotel to where? Where are we going to do this, in the midst of COVID? And so in walked Dr. Dave Bowers of BFM. We have a relationship, an ongoing relationship. And he said, hey, why don't you do this at the church? And, we'll give this to you. We'll allow you to do this. And that was a game changer. And immediately we got to the place where we say, yes, now it is possible. We went full speed ahead. We planned and we delivered. For the first time, we were able to reach outside the borders of the Bahamas, obviously, because, by December last year, by December last year, everybody was into Zoom. And so we had our most successful reach last year. Our furthest attendee was a Bahamian in China. We had individuals in Canada, Jamaica, a number of other Caribbean countries. And so, we really in a way, through COVID, stumbled up on a different formula. Almost 500 individuals logged into that presentation that day. From 8 o'clock straight until we finished at 4 o'clock, the place was humming. It was one presentation after the other of great high quality. And so we celebrated that. We celebrated the fact that we were supported by BFM and Dr. Dave Burrows. We celebrate the fact that we had individuals zooming in from different countries in terms of the presentation, some from right here. And we celebrate the fact that there were individuals willing to come out at the location and brave the possibility of picking up a virus to deliver a high quality product. And that was Success Summit number 4. And again, we were able to do our 3 scholarship. We supported 3 primary school students. And then we had our second cohort of Leadership Excellent awardees. This time it was Joan Albury from the counselors. Everybody know Joan Albury, who has been doing human job with Business Outlook for many years, almost 30 years now, I think. There was the other awardee was Pastor Mario Moxie, an individual who I have the greatest of respect for, has been with us from the beginning, but certainly as a leader for Harvest Church and a leader within the Christian fraternity has done, given significantly to country, significantly to people. I refer to him as my Ubuntu pastor, because if you have ever visited Harvest Church and listen very carefully to his teachings, but not just his teachings, but the initiatives that he pushes in the church, the way he encourages the individuals who attend the church to go out and find random individuals, and do what they refer to as good deeds, small deeds. Buy somebody dinner, invite somebody to dinner. If you're in the supermarket, give somebody a $10 or a $5 to pay for the stuff that they may be struggling to. Small deeds, to go out to organization, help them paint and so on. It's a good impression, I think, and a good example of how we can all live together and serve together when we think about others. And the other individual was that we awarded was Felix Stubbs. And, if you live in the Bahamas and pretty much don't know Felix Stubbs, you need a good refresher at something. Because this is an individual who is a philanthropist in a big way. Not necessarily always giving out money, but he's always willing to contribute. And so we are proud to have been able to award those individuals. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to the Essentials. Go ahead. Hello, go ahead.
Pleasant good evening, Mr. Edwards. How you doing?
I am doing great, Sparky.
Say you remember the voice.
Yeah, man. I always remember you, man. You're a celebrity,
Excuse me. Got a little slight cough there.
Yeah, man. No problem.
Mr. Edwards, we have been basically saying the same things over and over repeatedly to our Bahamian people, especially I will refer to them as the less fortunate, because we don't normally hear from those who are the fortunate, the elites we call them, those who have the all. And we always be trying, like yourself and many people. And no longer than a day, I had a discussion with somebody who's giving me a ride someplace, who schooled in Jamaica from a child, and went from Jamaica, went to New York, and came back and served their time in the government here and retired as a deputy permanent secretary. And when she hear you talk, she said, I can always tell he's from the country in Jamaica. They call it the country, eh?
Yes, it is the country.
Because of certain words you use and stuff like that. And you have been trying your utmost best. But I think, without a shadow of a doubt, my synopsis of the thing is, one of our biggest problems in the Bahamas is personal financial greed. We are so consumed with material things and finances and money and houses and cars and this, that. We don't think about country. Country don't come first. You know when our country comes first? Independence Day, when everybody will go on the fort and do fireworks and watch the police band and the dogs and all the defense force marching up and down, and then we up there and having fun that night for a couple of hours, and then watch some junk. After that, we go right back to selfish greed, all for me, baby, friends, family, lover. We don't put country first. I always say, especially when I watch the Olympics, and I see a country like where you descend from, Jamaica, and I say, now that's what I call a proud country. How they exhume their flag, and how they just like, despite the problems that Cuba and Haiti and Jamaica go through, their country seems to be most important to them, and they will do anything to move them and their country and their family forward. Okay. In the Bahamas, we just seem to be crabs in a basket, trying to crawl over one another and get out of the basket, and we don't care who we hurt.
All right.
We don't care who we bring down. We just look for the bad things in people, and we don't put people up on our shoulders and hold them up.
All right.
I think that's one of our biggest problems.
Thank you.
Greed.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your contribution. A couple of things. Couple of things he said. One, if you put crabs in basket, they have but one obligation, and that is to come out, right? Oftentimes we use that crab in the basket analogy to refer to individuals who look like me, of my hue. It's not a nice way to represent people. If you put crabs in a basket, they are trying to escape, and that's why they do it. It may be futile given their realities, but they're trying. They're trying their hardest to escape. The other thing is, Sparky, which I want to say to you is, you talk about Jamaica and Cuba and so on and so forth, and it's kind of a distance create romance. There's a lot of things which you see in the Bahamas which exist in Jamaica. You just don't see it. But one of the things which is important, I think, is you need to start to talk about you the way you want you to be seen. There are too many instances where we spend a lot of time talking bad about the Bahamas. If you tell me I'm a bad person long enough, I'm just going to be a bad person. I'm going to demonstrate that. Why not let us spend some time speaking to the better side of us? Good? And so, I would just want to encourage you. Yes, there may be some greed, but absolutely understand that there's nothing wrong with persons wanting to have stuff. The question is how you use it, and when you have it, if you have the ability to share, will you share? We have another caller. Caller, go ahead. Caller, go ahead. You are on the Essentials.
Hello.
Hello, go ahead.
Mr. Edwards.
Yes, sir.
I grew up on the Family Island, and my uncle and I did an experiment with the black and the white crabs in the pen to see if the black crabs would pull the other black crabs down, and then whether the white crabs would help each other up. I can tell you this story about them crabs. They all want to get out.
Yes.
Ain't none trying to look at what color you are.
Exactly.
No. This has been our experience. So this comparison to black and white crabs with humanity is, you could find a better word because I can't say it on the air. But then you ask a question: how do we face challenges bigger than us?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is what I want to leave with from what you've been doing today. I read every article you write, and I appreciate the fact that I have this infusion of ethnicity that I would never have gotten from someone of my same, background who could only tell me about what's going on here. And you can relate to other success stories in your community, and I really, really do appreciate that. So I want to continue to just point out some of the differences that you experience in your personal life as you're moving forward in your journey.
Mm-hmm.
and share with us, because we think we are who we, and most of us think we have made it and we've done it. But let me tell you how I know when I made it. When I could be consistent, being profitable in Forex. That's when you make it.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Until then, forget it.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much for your contribution. I mean, at the end of the day, all we are doing here is we're supposed to be working for each other. We have our own selfish needs, yeah? And you can't get away from that. No sense me feeding you and I dying. My friend from Nigeria, when he was working here, would share with me the story. So there's this rooster. And this rooster, there was some food at the crossroads, and this rooster would guard it, not allowing any other chickens, any other fowls to eat it. And he would guard that with great vigilance until he eventually died for hunger. Yeah. At the crossroad, guarding the food and die for hunger. So you have to be very careful how the expectation that we create for others. It's not simply about you denying yourself of anything, but a willingness to participate, to give. So we are running out of time, so we have quite a bit more to go. So we are now up to 2020. And so we were able to do our 3 scholarships and to give the awards to Joan Albury, to Felix Stubbs, and to Mario Moxie. And then, as you would have heard, you heard all of the persons who would have participated as we go through the ad. So let's take our next ad, 2020, when we had our celebrity advertiser, or at least our celebrity voicer. This one was done by Dion the Butcher. Many persons know him across the radio landscape and certainly in the party arena. So Dion the Butcher did this for us. Listen to this one from 2020.
On Saturday, December 5th, under the theme, Beyond the Crisis, Leadership Against the Odds, Hubert Edwards Global presents Success Summit 2020. The 4th annual Success Summit will feature a cohort of dynamic and world-class success advocates from the USA, Haiti, and the Bahamas. Join us and hear from Mario Moxie, Victoria Mullings, Rodney Bain, Donovan Roll, Nathan Sweeting, Cheryl Bazard, Leonardo Burrows, Andre Kelly, Paulo Prosper, Taquesha Dean, Tanya McCartney, Valdez Roll, Damian Blackburn, Anastasia Palacios, Dave Burrows, Matt Kinsey, Shakira Taylor, and Franco Charles. You'll also hear from our 2019 Leadership Excellence recipients, Barry Rassin, Ricardo DeVoe, and Anthony Longley. You can't afford to miss this, as they deliver strategies for success and effective leadership while sharing compelling stories of challenges and triumph. You will also be entertained by the soothing sounds of Simone Elbow. Be there when we present 3 primary school scholarship grants in memory of Michelle Miller, Dr. Richard Pinder, and L. Sidney Saunders. We will also present 3 Hubert Edwards Global Leadership Excellence Awards in memory of Dr. Miles Monroe. This event will be virtual, streaming on social media. See flyers for detail. December 5th, Success Summit 2020, Beyond the Crisis. Another mind shift event. See you there.
And so there we were in the midst of a crisis, and we decide, hey, we're still going to do this. And we're going to do the Success Summit by looking beyond the crisis, by talking about what the possibilities are, by not staying stuck to where we were at that point in time. And so, we pull it all together, and it worked. Almost 500 individuals across 6 or more countries logging on at some point in time during the course of the event. And having had the opportunity to repeat with 3 wonderful and excellent leadership excellency awardees. That was phenomenal. But that same message that Lakem Samaj whispered into my ear so that everybody else could hear, how will you top this? How will you top this? That has never left me, and every single year, we try to do a little bit more and to improve. Because ultimately, as I said, in the end, we are going to get to the place where we are going to have some big shots on the stage. And some of those big shots, by the time we get there, are going to be from right here in the Bahamas. Persons with the ability to draw international crowd. I'm confident of that. I know some individuals who are working hard to make that possible. So you would have heard about all of the individuals who were in the as speakers because they were in the advertisement. The individuals there you may not have heard about is, Rochelle Thompson Walker, Juliana Clark, Shakai Mullins, Patrick Brown, my daughter Safia Edwards, Kenny Mackey, Dion Knowles, that's Dion the Butcher you just hear, D'Angela Dapper, Cheryl Bastian, Nikira Dean, Leslie Smith, Diedrich Adderley, Raymond Heasty, and a host of other individuals who have worked to make this possible. The truth is, in the 4 years that we have gone so far, if we include this year, in the 4 years up to now, we have had over 50 persons grace our stage to present. Over 50. That's significant. That's significant to put that many persons on stage and not bore the hell out of persons and have individuals walk away with value and feeling that they were in a good place. It's not a simple feat. It's something of significance. But we do this because we believe that we should become advocates for success. We're going to take another clip. This clip this time is going to be number 6. We'll take number 6. And this is a song which I think it was found by Victoria Mullins, but it helps us to understand and to keep focus as to where we are. And the question is, are you ready for success? There is the very first words in this talk about New Day. I want you to remember that we had this song from 2018. So, I think someone should be paying us royalty. But be that as it may, let's listen to the song, our theme song, that we use for Success Summit. And I think it will give you some insight into what we think, how we think, and what it is that we're trying to achieve at the end of the day. Let's take this theme song.
It's a new day, it's a new me, oh, oh. Positivity flows through me, oh, oh. I'm ready to do my best. I'm ready for a change, whatever comes next. I've got a lot of faith, but I gotta confess, it's what you do that leads to success. Yeah, I'm prepping for success, dressing for success. I wanna see success, only think success. I'm so successful. I reach every goal on my wish list. Take care of my business, so I know I gotta be successful. Prepping for success, yeah. I'm ready for success, gotta be the best, yeah, yeah. I gotta reach them goals, so the limit is where the sky goes. Isn't it nice to know you got a right to grow, you got a right to lead? I know you will succeed, oh, ain't it good to know? Charlie, you're good to go, oh, you got everything that you need. I know you will succeed, prepping for success, yes. I wanna be success, and I'm gonna be success. Success for success. Ain't nothing in I wanna see success. I'm only think success. I'm so successful. I reach every goal on my wish list. Take care of my business, so I know I gotta be successful. Now I'm walking in victory, 'cause I know it belongs to me, and the glory belongs to you. Thanks for every success I knew. I'm so successful, Lord.
We are prepping for success. That's what it is. Prepping for success, ready for success, believing that success can be ours. Believing that success can be yours. We, the individuals, we refer to ourselves as success advocates. Those who present, those who prepare, those who participate, come with a belief that in this moment they have the ability to change life, to convince an individual that, look, no matter where you are, at any point in time, especially if you're feeling beat down and stuck, success is possible. Prepping for success. So every single thing that we do, We're prepping for success. We're prepping to grow. We're moving further. And a lot of times these things are done by individuals who have tons of money or great popularity or great influence. We don't have any of that. The unique thing about Success Summit, at least from my perspective, is I get the ability or the opportunity to grow alongside those who we may be helping to grow. Isn't that wonderful? That we can do this together. Very powerful thing. But I really want us to hear and understand as we move into 2021. This is going to be your 5th year. And this year brings together another level where we are going to have presenters from the Bahamas, a young mentee of mine from Nigeria, individual from Canada, United States, and Jamaica. We are going a little bit more international this year. 2 days. The first day is going to be Youth Day, and we're going to bring Jamaica and the Bahamas together through the Ministry of Education. Hopefully we are able to do that and get into the schools. We're working on the schools in Jamaica, and we're going to put them in the same space. We want to have hundreds of students working together and partnering with Dr. Dave Burrows and his IRISE, I-R-I-S-E, RISE organization to empower young people and youth. Believe me, this is a major shift, and it's going to be phenomenal. We expect it to be. So when the question is asked, how can you top this next year? We are trying our best to do that every single year. We definitely, before we get out of here, we have to hear from Michelle Miller. And so we are going to take her speech now. That's clip number 8. Michelle Miller, that's the one you downloaded? Good. So we ready to go with that? All right, let's shoot. So Michelle Miller, she spoke at the first summit. 3 weeks later, she wasn't with us anymore. But her words remain, and we treasure them, and we will protect them, and we will keep them in our hearts, and she will always and forever be a part of whatsoever Success Summit is or will become. Let's get Michelle Miller.
I am so excited to be here at this Success Summit, and I am so excited about Hubert Edwards' willingness to keep pushing. So my story is very simple. So think I can succeed. I believe success is a state of mind. So many of us don't understand the power of our thoughts. And I want to share with you right quickly how I had to reprogram my thinking in order to believe that I can actually excel. Growing up in Baintown and going to government school, people give you a limited outcome. They say to you that you are not really supposed to throw your ball too far. I worked in the public service at that time, and I had this itching to want to lead, to go into the private sector. But in my psychology, everything I knew and heard was that people who went to government school get government jobs. People in the private sector got those jobs who went to private school. Even so, I had to understand, where did that thinking come from? Who told me that, and why did I believe them? And so, success being a state of mind, I started to reprogram how I thought about myself and how my self-worth was not determined based on other people's expectation or other people's perception. And so, thinking and reprogramming yourself is critical if you're going to change. Nothing changes outwardly until you change it on the inside. I made the decision to go into banking. I sent out my resumes, and at the end of the day, if you have a negative mind, you will never achieve a positive response or positive outcome, because your mind sets the tempo for what your life becomes. So despite the fact that I did not have the paper qualification or the backstory to fit into banking, I put my resumes out there anyway, because after you would have thought about it, you have to take action. And so I decided to send my resumes out, and before you knew it, my positive thinking landed me a job at CIBC. So you can break the mold and you can shatter the glass ceiling if you're willing to reprogram the way you think about yourself. How do you think? Are the thoughts that's permeating your mind your thoughts? You have to get rid of mental trash. That's what I had to do. We take the garbage out of our homes. We know how that can be smelly and it doesn't make us feel good. You have to do the same thing with your mind. When you take out your mental trash, you can now prepare space for success. It's difficult to get more in if you're clogged up with old stuff, right? We agree? My final presentation to you, and my colleagues will come up, is to really know what you really, really, really want. And I put a couple of releases in there because I find that we're not always very sure. Yes, we want it. No, we don't want it. We want this, we want that. But life needs you to be specific. So if you want something better, be specific about what that better is, because better in of itself is not anything, right? You want a better job, what kind of job? You want more money, how much money? Cultivate and nurture the process. It didn't happen overnight, right, to get to where I wanted to go. So the process sometimes, I heard someone else mention it, you have failures, you have setbacks. And you still have to be consistent and take action. And more importantly, figure out how you're going to navigate those challenges. How are you going to get past the no's? Like Hubert said, when he first wanted to do his show, he got rejected. But he still went forward with it, and now his show has been on several years. So it's having the capacity to continue to push, even when you're getting pushed back. Success, I will leave with you my phrase that success is not a journey, it's a journey, not a destination. We understand that? So for the rest of our lives, we want to continue to triumph. For me, it was defeating that perception that government school graduates couldn't work in the private sector. Once I conquered that hurdle, everything else was open for me, and I have excelled over and beyond expectation, and I wish the same for each of you. Thank you.
That, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately was the last time we heard Michelle speak on a stage. It was her last presentation. And so we do this in celebration of her. We do this in celebration of our good friend Simone Edwards, who, as I mentioned, is battling her own challenges with cancer at this moment. And we do this in celebration of everybody else who may be going through some issues. I have a thing here which says, if you ever struggled but decided not to give up, you're one of my heroes. Keep watching, keep walking, because I am watching. Good night, Mr. Edwards. How do you define success? This is kind of at the end. What is success? Are you not a Toastmaster member? What about all those international Toastmaster leaders? So agree that your conference has the ability to attract big international speakers, which will, of course, bring you a larger audience. Think about it. Yeah, what is success? Success, I like the one from Earl Nightingale, which says success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Whatsoever it is that you are pursuing, whatsoever it is which is good to you, as long as you're moving progressively towards that and achieving it in incremental terms, bit by bit, that is success. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be having Success Summit 2021. This is a bit of a launch, and so we wanted to put that out there for you. We want to have you understand that you need to join us. We are calling for partners. We are calling for sponsors. Come out and support us so that we can provide these scholarships, so that we can make the presentation for the leadership. And before I go, I just want to announce that we have a second leadership award this year, which will go to non-native Bahamians or residents who have contributed significantly to the country. And this will be in the name of Marcus Garvey and Dr. Joseph Love. We have permission from the son of of Marcus Garvey to do this. And so we are very grateful for that. And so we reflect and we recognize that Dr. Joseph Love, a Bahamian, influenced Marcus Garvey. And so we are bringing the two together to make this presentation. We're clean out of time, so we will end and we will share with you our closing song. But we always end by saying, never ever allow your greatness to become a victim of your unwillingness to change. You have been listening to The Essentials, The Reset. Thank you so much for joining us, and good night.
Mad son. Hey, follow me now, I see you now. Hey, upset her. See how upset her. Let's go outside there. On and on and on and on. I'm a winner. You know the dance. I'm a winner. Hey, watch out now. I'm on the sun. Oh, we're winning right now, you say we're winning right now. Me forget a trophy to what me living right now. Cause I'm winning right now, yeah. And I'm chilling right now. Oh, we're winning right now. Our Thanksgiving right now. Cause we're winning right now, yeah. I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning. Hey, watch out now. Hey, I'm a walking W. Learn from the L's. Turn them in a medal in a trophy and bells. Every day you see we with the pan on next level. Break records like we cracking eggshells. And every single ounce of effort we expel. It's all about progress cause we have to excel. I watch them looking like success we dress well. Boom. Another knockout for the ring the next spell. I'm about to send my haters a card to get well. Cause I'm sick of it. Lord, I'm so sick of it. But that's the whole gist of it. I hate it not the beauty when winning now we have it. Cause I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning. Oh, we're winning right now, you say we're winning right now. Me forget a trophy to what me living right now. Cause I'm winning right now.